Hey y'all! I've been watching a lot of videos of people talking about their 2023 plant wish list, and I thought that it might be fun to go ahead and share my plant wish list as well. My entire wish list is pretty long. We'd be here forever if I told you every plant that's on my wish list, so I'm not gonna do that. I thought maybe narrowing it down to like 10 is more reasonable. I don't want to rank these or prioritize these because honestly, all of the plants are on my wish list for a reason, and I would like to add them all to my collection at some point. So these are just gonna be 10 plants that I would love to add to my collection in 2023. Currently, my collection is pretty small because, like I've mentioned before, I got rid of all of my plants and went a couple years without any house plants. So some of these plants are plants that I've had in the past that I want back in my collection. Oh my God, did y'all just hear my stomach growl? I'm so hungry. And others are just ones that I really love and never had before, but I would like to have them in 2023. So let's jump into it. I am going to put a picture up right here of the plant as I talk about it. This is like goals, just to give you an idea of what the plant looks like and why I love it, you know what I mean? But it's not necessarily saying I expect it to look like that when I get it. Y'all know. Okay, like I said, these are not in order of like favorite to least favorite. These are just 10 plants in general. So the first plant that I'm going to talk about is a plant that I had back in 2019. And back then, this was a pretty expensive plant. It was not common. It was kind of hard to come by. And I paid $90 for a single leaf unrooted cutting. Or was it rooted? It might have been rooted, but I don't remember. I do remember it was not a big plant. It was like a single leaf cutting. That was actually like from a plant friend who cut me a deal because they were going for like $120 to $150 at the time. The plant ended up dying because when I first started out in plants in 2019, I obviously did not know what I was doing. I was a serial plant killer at the time. I couldn't keep pothos alive. I couldn't keep succulents alive. Like, I killed everything. I was just following what everybody else said that I should be doing. Like, I took somebody else's plant care and followed it to the T instead of dabbling and figuring out what worked for me. So yeah, the plant ended up dying, and I never got another one because I was like, I'm not gonna invest money in it just for it to die. The plant that I'm talking about is the Philodendron majestic. If you guys hear noises, they're working on the road right outside of my house. So sorry about that. If you hear like trucks and cranes and stuff, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the Philodendron majestic was one of my favorites. It is a beautiful freaking plant, and it's one of those plants where it looks beautiful when it's little and it still looks beautiful even when it's big. Some of these plants look so cute when they're small, and then they get big and everything that was cute about it kind of goes away as the leaves mature, like the Campos Partuneanum. The Campo. I like when they're small and velvety with cute little ears, but when they get really big, they're kind of just like, you know, I'm all over the place. Anyway, the majestic. I love the majestic. It's a cross between a Soderoy and a Verrucosum, and it's got the best of those both worlds. So it's got a little bit of like a silver splash to it, but it's like velvety and sheeny. It really is just majestic. It looks majestic to me. I really want to put one of those on a moss pole and let the leaves get like friggin' huge, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that would just be goals. Luckily for me, nowadays the price has definitely gone down. I think they're way more common than they used to be, and you can get like a decent sized plant for like 30 or 40 bucks. So that's exciting for me. But it's definitely a plant that I would love to add to my collection in 2023. The next plant is one that I just recently kind of came across. It's kind of funny because now that I'm getting back into plants, I'm learning about a ton of varieties that I never heard of back in the day. When I was heavy into plants, I was not into Anthuriums. I thought they looked really cool, but I could not figure out their care. I didn't like them enough to even try to figure out their care. I was Philodendron all day, every day. Like, you just could not convince me to buy an Anthurium. Now I feel like there are a lot of Anthuriums that I have my eye on, and I think what set it off was my Pallitiflorum. It's doing so well that it kind of has me interested in trying out more. I can't remember what it's crossed with now, but it's some kind of red crystal cross, and it hasn't died. So I think my confidence in Anthurium care has grown. And so I've noticed that I have my eye on quite a few Anthuriums. One of which is the next plant we're going to talk about, and that is the Anthurium cyrenoi. Oh my gosh, this plant just looks incredible to me. I love the shape of it. I love the velvety sheen. Like it just looks amazing. And they also have a cyrenoi black. So I kind of prefer the cyrenoi black, but I'm cool with either one. It doesn't matter which one. Just one of them needs to be in my house at some point this year. Another Anthurium that just like makes my heart palpitate is the Anthurium Ace of Spades. Again, it's just like that dark, gorgeous leaf. I love how dark they get. Pretty much every cross that I've seen with an Ace of Spades just looks like magic. I don't know if I necessarily want any hybrids of the Ace of Spades. Not that I would deny any hybrids, but I think I want like a true Ace of Spades first, and then we can get into like the hybrids and the crosses. But the Ace of Spades by itself is stunning. This next one I think is only on my wish list because I've tried this plant a couple times before and it died both times. A miserable death. This was back in like 2019, and I was trying to imitate the care that everybody said that this plant needed. I really feel like this time around I have a better understanding of how to kind of like play around with my plants and figure out what they like. I'm more willing to like do my own thing instead of following what I think I need to follow. Because I'm finding so much success with plants that I used to absolutely fail at before, I think that that's the only reason this plant is on my wish list, but nevertheless, it is my goal to have another Monstera Thai constellation. I had two big, beautiful plants a few years ago. The prices of them have definitely gone up, I feel like, but either way, I really want to try it again. The first one I got from NSC Tropicals, I think that's the name of it, and it was beautiful, but it was root rotted. By the time it came to me, the roots were rotted, and I was trying to revive it, but I think I made it worse. And so that plant eventually just like shriveled away to dust. It just completely rotted out. The second one that I got was a cutting, and it was doing okay, but it was one of those things where I was constantly fighting root rot. And I know that that's a common problem with Thai constellations, but I really want to try it again, but this time in leca. For one, my soil medium before was way too dense, I think. The medium that I mix now, I think is airy enough to where it would be okay, but I really, really want to see this plant in leca. I want to see how it does, and I want to give it another go. So I don't even think it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with the Thai constellation. I think it's more of a pride thing. I think I need to redeem myself. And so for 2023, a Monstera Thai constellation is definitely on my wish list. The Anthurium Zara, it is so nice. It's so nice. I don't know if I'm gonna kill it or not, but I need it. I want it. I want to try. It's just so beautiful. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Next on my wish list is sort of like a type of Monstera, more so than just one particular version of it. So I'm gonna say it's the Monstera Esqueleto, but it doesn't have to be that one. It's really just any of those Monstera types that have like those stretched out holy leaves. Yes, I want one of those. Doesn't matter what kind it is. I can just picture it growing massive holy leaves on a moss pole. Give me all of that in 2023. The Fibrosum. It's one that I've had before. Y'all saw me unbox it. It died a very quick and painful death. I love the hairy like stem and stuff, and it's like velvet leaves and hairy stem. You can't go wrong with that. The only thing that would make it better is if it was dark, but I digress. I want to try that again, and I think again it's just because I failed at it so quickly and so miserably that I kind of want to try it again just to redeem myself. I do love the plant so much, but it's definitely on my wish list for 2023 to try it again. If I could get this plant to grow like big, beautiful leaves with those thick, hairy stems, it would be a dream. Again, another one that I think if I can slap it onto a moss pole and let it do its thing, it would be delicious. Absolutely delicious. I found out about this plant on Etsy. Etsy kind of has me in a chokehold right now. The Philodendron Caramel Marble Black Cardinal. I haven't seen a mature form of it yet. I've only seen like starters on Etsy, but I love the color of these leaves. They are so unique. I just love that they stay that beautiful, warm caramel color. I could just picture this plant getting super big and having these like gorgeous autumnal caramel colored leaves. Oh, so good. So even though it's probably a basic plant, it's one that I definitely am excited to add to my collection. It's gonna happen. I just know it because they're so cheap and they're so beautiful. I just, oh, so pretty. The Philodendron Snowdrift. I think that this plant looks so cool. I don't know if it's popular anymore, but I find starters on Etsy for a really reasonable price. The larger plants seem to be pretty expensive, but like I said, buy a baby and let it grow. It's fine. I love how it looks as a baby, but I have seen more mature pictures of it and it just looks gorgeous. I just love it. So I definitely want to add a snowdrift to my collection as well. Oh, the variegated Frydek. I need one of these. I definitely need one of these. Frydek is one of my favorite Alocasias. It was one that I struggled with. Like I said, back in the day, I could not keep a Frydek alive to save my life. I don't know what the struggle was. This time around, I bought like a cheap little baby at my local nursery. It was like 15 bucks. It was really small and I grew it pretty big. I'll put in a picture of what it looked like. And this was after it went through several months of neglect, so it was bigger than even this. Now I just have a small baby of it because we are getting ready to move and I was trying to make some room in my cabinet for some of the plants that are getting really big in there. And so I gave this Frydek away, but before I did take a little baby out of it. It grows so fast that it's going to be big again in no time. But because I have kind of figured it out with the Frydek, we've made amends and it grows so well for me, I feel comfortable and confident getting a variegated Frydek. I just think they are so stunning. I love that crisp white up against that dark green. It just looks so good. The problem is that I keep hearing that they revert really easily. So I don't know if I got to do some more research to decide if I like really want to invest in that. I would definitely spend the asking price on it because they're just stunning. And the Frydek is one of my favorite plants. So throw some white on there. Are you kidding me? Speaking of Alocasias, this one right here, the Alocasia scalprum. I need one of these in my collection. These plants are so sexy. Like the most dark, sharp, evil, sexy looking leaves I have ever seen. They are just everything that my like little black soul desires. It's like that gorgeous, gothic, villainous leaf. Oh gosh, yeah, I definitely need a scalprum in my collection. They are so stunning, and for some reason I don't see a lot of people talk about them either, but man, they are gorgeous. So if you're into Alocasia, here's your sign. Add this to your list. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's everything we need in 2023. Like I said, I have tons and tons and tons of plants on my wish list. So of course, if I ever come across another wish list plant that I can add to my collection, I will never complain. But these are just a handful of plants that I would absolutely love to add to my collection this year. So let me know what is on your wish list. Let me know if you've already started working on your wish list, what plants you've added to your collection so far in 2023. And I appreciate you for hanging out with me. Hope y'all are doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.